In the spring of 2021, 52-year-old Texas resident Karen Davis got married, and then after the ceremony and after the honeymoon, she went through the process of changing her last name from Davis to McBride. The last step was to get a new driver's license with the new name on it. So Karen emailed the local DMV, or Department of Motor Vehicles, to set up a time for her to come in and make the change to her license. The local DMV immediately emailed Karen back, and they told her that they could not help her with this request until she resolved an issue. Now, they didn't specify what this issue was. It had something to do with the state of Oklahoma. There was just a phone number they told her she needed to call in order to resolve this issue. She punched this number the DMV had given her into her phone, and then she let it ring. A woman from the Norman, Oklahoma District Attorney's Office picked up the phone and said, "How can I help you?" Karen immediately assumed that the DMV must have made a mistake. But since she had this woman on the phone, Karen told her, hey, I was just trying to get a new license in Texas. They told me there was some sort of issue. It had to do with me potentially living in Oklahoma. I don't know what it is. The woman from the DA's office had no idea who Karen was. After taking down Karen's information and looking on her computer, she discovered Karen's so-called Oklahoma problem. Karen literally couldn't believe it. Suddenly, everything in Karen's life made sense. For the last 22 years, Karen, who was incredibly smart and friendly and polite, had an incredibly hard time getting a job. Even jobs that she was extremely qualified for, in the rare times that Karen did actually get hired, she would always get fired for no reason. It would turn out 22 years earlier, which is when Karen's hireability issues began, she lived in Norman, Oklahoma. She lived with a roommate. And this roommate was this nice young man who had a couple of young kids. He went to the local movie store called Movie Place, and he rented the hit 90s movie Sabrina the Teenage Witch. He didn't return the VHS tape of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. The movie store would just hit the card holder with lots of late fees. At some point, the movie store would just hit them with a final fee that basically accounted for the total cost of the VHS tape. But in this case, Movie Place in Norman, Oklahoma didn't think that was enough. They pressed charges against the card holder, and the card holder was Karen Davis. The roommate had just borrowed her card. And somehow, these charges against Karen were never brought up to Karen. And so for 22 years, she was technically a wanted felon. Since discovering these charges, Karen worked with the Norman, Oklahoma DA's office and got these charges dismissed.